Now, whenever I'm feeling a bit stressed out in the crypto markets, I play some good old Bitcoin poker. And a site I've been playing on for many years is Ignition Poker. I'm pretty much a regular at the mid-stake games on here and usually play a few times a week. But if you're anything like me, you might also enjoy playing. I mean, who doesn't, right? But the software and player traffic is excellent here. And most importantly, this is a real money poker site. And instead of just talking about them, I'd like to go over another recent session I played where I managed to get a really nice win. Of course, if you guys would like to learn more about Ignition or get started here, there will be some bonus and resource links you can check out directly below in the description. Don't forget to tap that like, and let's get into some of these hands. Also, if you guys have any questions, things like that about Ignition, you could also message me below in the comments. I'll get back to you. But stick around to the end, of course, because we had a couple of really good hands here. We ended up going up over $1,000, so making over $500 for the day in profit is always nice. Now, when you're playing on here, I always recommend starting at the mid stakes for a few different reasons. If you play low stake games, really on any poker site, the problem is people play bad poker. They don't care, and what's going to happen is you're going to get frustrated. But when you start to play for more money, and I'll give you a great example, people start to care more about the money. So you're not going to see those ridiculous all-in shoves with those queen 10 offsuits or those 9-8 offsuits pre-flop. Unless somebody's super tilted, maybe they're drunk. I don't know what the reason is. It's not going to happen too often when you start playing for more money. People are going to play good poker. And when you're playing like that, the game just changes. Everything just changes. But, there are a lot of different skill sets you need to, be a consistent winner. It's not just one thing. You got to be able to, bluff at the right times. You got to be able to lay down hands when you're beat at the right times. And, you need to be aggressive too a lot of the time. There's a lot of nuance to this. Don't get me wrong. And I think really what you guys need to understand is what's going to help you the most is having emotional control when you're playing. Because like I said, you're not always going to win when you play online poker. You're going to take some brutal beats sometimes. It's just how you handle it. Can you handle it? A lot of people can't. And that to me is the determining factor. And if you can, play consistently and make money consistently, is if you can keep your head. Okay. So it comes with time, it takes time, but to understand that's what's going to also help you get to the next level playing, poker online for sure. Okay. Like I said, stick around though, because we had some real interesting spots in here, especially with the last couple hands. I've also been using, the colors I like to use for tables when I'm playing on Ignition. You're going to notice I'm usually doing orange a lot. I like blue. Sometimes I do red. Sometimes I do like the teal green. So there's some different colors you can use as well when you're playing on here. But, orange is pretty classic for the most part. So, whatever. All right, so playing pretty tight to start things off here. Nothing crazy just yet. And, I didn't even have to put in any bluffs, I think, in this session. I just played good poker. That's all you need to do sometimes. Just sit back, like I said, be patient, play good poker, and, things will work out. All right, we had a queen 9 suited here. Obviously, I would have called, you could argue I should have made a raise. All right, anyways, king on the turn here. I just decided to fold because we had no spade, plus we would need a 10 to hit a straight, and who knows if it's good, right? And it was a good fold because this guy is going to show a weird flush. It was like a 10-6, I think, maybe a 10-5. No, it was a 10-6. So, good fold by us right there. Really no reason to, continue without a spade. All right, next time we had pocket fours. Not a terrible flop for fours. We were up against one other player. Putting in a raise here in late position, even with a small pocket pair, was the right play. All right, 9-7-7. Okay, that was a really good turn card for us because, the odds of him having a 9, pretty bad. A couple overcards would make sense here. I decided to bet just to protect the fours, and he called. So he was probably just floating to the river. Checking, I think, was good. He could have hit a jack, who knows. But whatever, the fours held. We'll take it. No complaints right there. All right, next time we had 7-9. When you get these type of hands, I've been saying this a lot lately here, you definitely want to be seeing flops with hands like this, especially when you're in the bigger small blind, because you already have money invested in the hand because you're in the bigger small blind, and you might as well protect, and you don't know what's going to happen. You could flop something. Now we hit a pair. We got some runner possibilities with the flush, but we still hit a pair. Obviously, it's the worst pair we could have, but we still hit one. All right, so turn card really not changing a whole lot. We could be ahead here. Really hard to know, but I'm kind of just like check. If somebody puts in a decent bet, probably just a fold here. But I'm just hoping we go to showdown here to the river, and we see what everybody's got. All right. Anyways, to my surprise, we are going to win this one, so I will take it. I will bake it. Okay, and like I said, nothing really crazy going on just yet. Just sitting back, being patient. I hope you guys are still watching because, like I said, man, we are going to spice things up here. All right, so we had a king-queen here of clubs. Now I was going to put in a raise here, but somebody's going to do the raising for us, so I'm just going to flat. The reason I flatted here because there's still 3 other players to act. And you really don't know, especially at these stakes, people are going to be more aggressive. So, somebody could be 3-betting here all day long. I could have 3-bet, but with 3 other players to act behind me, I figured if somebody's got something, they'll do it, which is the reason I flatted. Okay, good flop because, someone doesn't have to have an ace here. A lot of the time they're not going to, even with that guy raising, sure he could. But we have a really good flush draw. We've got runner, straight draw possibilities, but, clearly looking for the flush. Okay, so we got a free card here. And you know what? I'll take the free card. All right, so this guy's going to put in a raise, not a big one, and I'm going to kind of be a little tricky here. And the way I kind of did this was almost like a min raise style. I wanted to keep him in the hand. That's the thing. So, like, let's say he has maybe a pair of aces here with, like, a jack, and he's got the jack of clubs. If I'm this guy, if I've got a hand like that, or even like an ace 10 with the 10 of clubs, I'm probably making this call all day long. And he's going to make the call. All right, the river card was a good one. Well, actually not the greatest one because, a 3 could kill some action here, but I'm still going to, go for a good value bet, trying to get the right sizing. Okay, I did. He made the call right there, and I was pretty darn happy about that. Okay, so now we're going to get into the final hand of this session, and I slowed it down because it was ridiculous in the best way possible. Now, ace-king, I've said this so many times, but ace-king, when it's offsuit compared to when it's suited, is like night and day. For example, if you have an ace-king offsuit and you end up going all-in pre-flop with it, and you're up against, whatever it is. It could be pocket jacks, queens, kings. When you're up against pocket aces, it's like the worst feeling ever. But, I'm sure there's so many times you could relate to this where you've shoved all in pre-flop with ace-king and you've lost with it. Now, the thing is, when it's suited, even when you're up against pocket aces, for example, you still have, a chance to crack aces or, whatever it is, right? Kings, queens. When your ace-king is suited, it's just so much different. Now, I'm going to be in a situation where instead of kind of like getting really crazy with this hand pre-flop, I decided to play it a little bit slower. Now, sometimes, and it's because we were pretty deep. When you're in a $500 cash game, you're going to be a lot deeper. So things are going to be a little bit different, but there still have been plenty of times where I've shoved, you know what I'm saying, with this hand. So, yeah. Anyways, great flop. Stick around for this because, like I said, it was pretty amazing. So not really afraid of a whole lot here. And I'm usually shoving with this all the time in this spot, which, I mean, yeah, I mean, plus we're up, I mean, we're still ahead of a lot of different hands as well. If this guy's got like an ace king or an ace queen or something like that, then, you know, we're still really good here. Now I kind of just waited to see what he was going to do. But if he's raising here, then yeah, I'm definitely coming over the top. And, you know, sometimes I wish they had like a run it twice button on ignition. Maybe someday they will, but, you know, right now they don't. But it's fine. We could run it once here. And I think if you guys were in my spot, you're probably going to do the same thing. And for me, this felt like a play where I'm protecting my hand, okay? That's kind of what I felt like as well. If he's got an overpair to this board, so be it. We could still be ahead. You know, it's hard to know. I'm sorry, not ahead, but if he has like queens or jacks. However, he did have kings, which was not good. So we were really looking for an ace or that club, which we got. So I thought that was a very interesting hand. And I hope you guys learned that when you have an ace king and it's suited, don't be afraid to be more aggressive with it, even though I wasn't super aggressive pre-flop, because it is going to, you know, hit a lot more of the time compared to when it's not. So when your ace king's not suited, just play it a little bit more cautiously, I would say, especially pre-flop if you're dealing with like 4 bets or something or all-ins. Compared to when it's suited, don't be so much afraid, especially to get it all in. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed another session here. I thought we had some interesting spots. We got a nice win for the day, but, you know, Ignition, definitely a site I would recommend checking out. And also get on our newsletter. We send that out once a week, so there'll be some links below down there. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that like if you made it to the end. Thanks for watching this, and we'll see you all in the next poker video.